Even with the small fighter and bomber force that we now have in China, the people had taken a new lease on life. Every time we had an air battle over Hengyang, they would capture another town along the Yangtze or near the lakes around Nachang. I think we realized then, as General Chenal had realized for a long time, that all these people had needed was a chance, with their support for their ground armies and modern equipment for their soldiers. Our small force had put new life into them. They had plaques embroidered in commemoration of the battles that we fought. These would sometimes represent American Eagle holding the flags of America, Britain, Russia, and China. In Chinese characters would be a poetic account of the battle that the pilot or the squadron had fought. As we drove along the roads in our jeeps to the field for the alert of the Jin Bao, three little children would hold their thumbs up and call again and again, Ding Hao. More and more we asked ourselves, what couldn't we do with plenty of equipment for the Chinese ground armies and for us over their heads with adequate air support? Would the day ever come when we could make an attack with a force that was a credit to the greatest country in the world? Towards the middle of August, as our pilots died, the old ships we had had begun to doubt it. For no, we didn't win all the time. Sometimes we lost, even when we traded 1 for 10. We lost because the Jap could replace his lost planes and we could not. It was more than losing ships. Sometimes our pilots died in unequal battles. One day in August, Johnny Allison was leading 6 P-40s to intercept a large bomber formation coming against Hengyang. When the interception was made, the Japs had 53 planes. They were in 3 waves, so of course Johnny couldn't get them all together and take shots at his little force. He circled in the sun, waiting for the opportunity to strike and get away with all his ships. Then it came. He dove through 9 of them, and his 6 planes shot down 4 of the enemy. In the second attack, after diving away and climbing back into the sun, he sent 4 of the 6 down against them again. The little force of fighters knocked down another 0, but one of the P-40s was in trouble. Johnny said later that he had seen the enemy ships following the 40, but thought that the closest one was another P-40. Too late he realized the error and went to help the pilot, whom he knew by then to be a boy named Lean Miner. The Zero rode the American fighter's tail and shot it down with cannon, and the P-40 burned. Johnny watched for a chute to open, but nothing happened. As we drove down along the highway that afternoon, Baumler and Allison, Jack Belden of Life magazine and I were hoping by some fluke that Miner had bailed out and that Johnny just had failed to see him do it. We suspected that we were merely being optimistic. The farther we drove down the road to the south towards the battle area of the morning, more we expected what we found. We finally saw it. 4 Chinese coolies were walking towards the nearest village, carrying an object lashed to poles and carrying it in the old way of the East, with poles over their shoulders. The thing they were carrying was wrapped in grass matting, but then as I saw the bare feet sticking out, we stopped the jeep and called to the coolies. Jack Belden spoke to them in Chinese and took cover from their face. It was Lieutenant Miner, and of course he was dead. His ship been exploding had evidently thrown him out and had opened his chute. But the explosion had killed him. He had definitely not crashed with the ship, for there was hardly a mark on his body. Wrapping Miner in his parachute, we took him back in a rickety Chinese bus that we commandeered. We knew we'd miss Miner and men like him. He had been one of the up-and-coming younger pilots. He had already shot down 1 Japanese plane.